I'm being told they're here. And we heard, music-wise, we heard from the new MGMT album. We heard the title track, Little Dark Age. So good. It's from their 4th album. Can't beat that. They're here. It's like real rock stars now. It's not just like, look, sometimes you hear these shows, sometimes we're pulling from the bottom of the barrel sometimes. This is a top shelf guest. This is top shelf. This is the real deal, man. You get ready. Look at this. Look. One of you has been here before. What's that now? Hold on. Wait till the mics get set up. You've done... Yeah, we got Al Jardine playing here. Everybody gets to open a Beach Boys, a pack of Beach Boys
We
cards.
met him once.
This looks like a nachos hat.
You met Al Jardine?
Yeah.
Well, that's a question for the subreddit should have been asking. Which... All right, let's introduce everybody first. We have Ben. Say hi, Ben.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Then we got Simon. You've been here before.
Yes, I have. Hey, Tom. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again because people know you as Simon Doom.
Yes.
As well as Simon O'Connor.
That's true. That's my...
Right.
You've got the best radio voice of us.
You think so?
Of the guests, yeah.
Well, so far, of Ben and I guess I do.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
Yeah.
Will and I
It's
are
okay.
going to
your voice
fade off here.
Yeah, your voice is very like... You could just say the thing like
soap.
No, not soap. Say like say something about like a sunrise, like seeing a sunrise in a Ford F-150.
kind of like that. You know what I just? You know what life is? It's those little things.
Yeah,
it's watching the dust rise.
You're like the new Sam
at
Elliott.
Dusk.
Sam Elliott's shaking his fist at his computer right now.
Yeah.
Or you're coming up from behind.
He's been shaking his fist at his computer for a while.
You're going to start stealing his work. And we got Andrew. How are you?
Hi, I'm grand.
Oh, that's nice. Grand.
I haven't said that in years.
And then last, but certainly not least, Will.
Hi, Tom.
Oh, that mic's not working. Which mic is that now? Let's try that. 5?
Hey.
2, 3, 4, 5. It's not working. Let's try that.
Hey.
No, it's not working.
All right, you got to get out of here.
Hear that, Mike? Hear that, Mike?
Techie D's.
Mike, what are we going to do, right? I'm going to do this to you, Pat.
We can share.
Pat hates. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Oh, here we go.
There's a real, stop it. Don't do that to him. What did you screw up? It's like a hornet's nest out there. These three guys hate each other.
Yeah.
And it's like a race to see who can put the other one down first. All right, look. So MGMT, 4/5 of the band are here, right?
Yes.
Correct.
And you have a new record out now.
Yes.
It's called Little Dark Age. True or false?
Not true.
True. That's true. Wait, no, it's not called Little Dark Age?
No, the cables.
Oh, okay. Sure. All right, you're out of here. These guys are tanking my interview. They're tanking it. I finally get some. This is A-list, and Mike and Pat and Duty, they're conspiring to shame me. How do you think this looks for the subreddit? They're laughing at me right now. I'm a buffoon in front of the MGMT subreddit.
No, this is good for us. I mean, we don't get to do this.
Well, it's not like nobody's asking you. You're choosing not to do things like this. I'm sure you could be on a radio show every night if you wanted. But look, thank you for coming. Good night. What if that's it? Thank you. I just wanted to verify the album's called Little Dark Age. Thanks to MGMT for swinging by. Now let's go back to open phones. No, the album is so great. It's the fourth album, and it came out last month. It's so good, and it's like, because each album's so different when you look at them in the scheme of things, and it's like, look, I'll talk about this album. You tell me whether I'm right or wrong. It's like sometimes it's like the feel comes first on the albums. This one, and then the songs reveal themselves. This one feels like the songs come first, and then you're like, oh, there's the feel. Like the feel shows up later, like as a whole for the album.
I like that.
I like that.
You almost
don't-
said something.
No, I just don't. I like the sound of that, but I'm not exactly sure what it means.
Well, it's sometimes you listen to the albums and there's like the third album. There's such a feel to that album.
Yeah, okay.
There's such a straight vibe from beginning to end on that album. And then you listen to it, and then the songs start to rise to the surface through that feel, and start to distinguish themselves from each other. Then you start to become fans of the songs of it.
More feel forward.
Yes, but this time it feels like the songs are the songs just pop right off the bat, and then you're like, oh, okay, now I see the flow of this thing. Kind of listening to the album over and over, it's like, oh, now I see how this is an album, not just you guys throwing some songs down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Simon, what do you think about that?
Well, I was absurdly uninvolved in the process, but I guess I'll talk about the whole thing.
You're better qualified then.
The fart guy.
No, smart.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, the fart guy from that story I told in the Uber.
No way.
We will not tell that story.
Okay.
But yeah, I remember hearing the beginnings of songs, and I said, gee, I hope they complete these. Mm-hmm. And then they were completed.
Yeah, we completed them. 10 of them.
10 Jamoramas.
Yeah.
Will, what do you think?
Yeah, you guys completed the S out of
Because
it.
clearly, okay, so let's just...
The album was finished.
So Andrew and Ben, you guys are the ones putting the albums, this last album together. It's
Yeah, with a couple friends and collaborators. It was co-produced with Patrick Wimberly from the band Chairlift, and we worked with Dave Fridman again, mixing. Mm-hmm. And then we had like friends, Conan Moccasin and Ariel Pink and Josh DaCosta. Just we did a lot of it in Los Angeles, where Ben lives.
okay.
And people in Los Angeles like to get together in places and be social.
Because you can only do one thing a day,
Yeah.
right?
So we had meeting time.
We only hung out for you, like for your benefit when you came to
Yeah,
LA.
it was
People
good.
don't actually hang out in LA.
What about it like Mel's?
No, we stay home, and then like when
Pinks.
someone from New York comes to visit, then we're like, oh yeah, we want to make them feel like, oh, this is a really cool place, you should move here. So we're like, oh, we like arrange this thing where it's like, oh look, we all hang out together and it's fun.
And then you're like, oh, it was a trap the whole time.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you just don't want anybody
And
to
I
be
got
happy.
trapped because somebody convinced me to do that, and then I moved out there, and
Yeah.
then now I have to do the same.
And then there was a moment where you were just like, wait a minute. Mm-hmm. This was a trap the whole time.
Exactly.
But you're not supposed to tell people it's a trap.
Oops.
Yeah, you just ruined it.
Now they're gonna. You're without a country now. You can't go back. Where are you gonna go now? San Diego?
Elba.
Idris Elba. LA's going to be empty.
So you did the record in L.A. this time because this is the second time you've recorded in L.A.
A little New York too, but we recorded Congratulations, the album, in California too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah. Well, now with the cover of this, right? What is the cover of it? And why do I feel like I've seen something that reminds me of the cover before?
It kind of looks like this. Well, it looks like the Home Alone DVD cover or VHS.
Okay.
But it also looks like Edward Monk's The Scream.
Uh-huh.
And it's from like a 1980s horror zine. Our friend found it.
All right. Maybe that's right. I didn't think it was the Home Alone cover is why I was just
I
like,
know. That wasn't the first intention with it, but it works.
So, yeah. It's so good, and and people seem to like it, right? You're getting good response from it?
Yeah.
So the cover or the
The whole thing.
whole thing?
The whole thing.
I think so. It seems like a positive reaction is happening.
Mm-hmm. And is that like because look, I'll say this. You guys are 4 for 4 right now. You're 4 for 4. And anything else you've done. Perfect streak. Untouchable. But then there's people who are just like, finally, it's so catchy stuff again. It's like, what? First of all, if you listen to the other records, every one of the records has catchy stuff on it. It's like, how can you not think some of those things were catchy? But is it weird kind of like just being in a thing where it's like you're judged by your last thing and you're judged to very like...
We're judged by... We're always just put up against our first thing ever. Like it,
yeah.
Know, it's like songs that we wrote when we were in college.
Yeah. So you two, Andrew and Ben, you were in college, you're making music. And...
Actually, we all went to the same college together.
We did. How about that?
College buds.
College boys.
You're not going to sing the fight song, are you?
Wait.
When you're sad and you're alone and no one cares for you, you go to liberal arts school.
What are sports?
Sports are for men. Let's form a band and use nothing that we learned in school. Sorry.
No, that's the fight song. Proud.
Actually, I just remembered the fight song, but I'm not going to sing it, but I do know it. Panini Beach Boys.
Oh yeah, I know that. Panini Beach is the name.
That's the name of the people that made these cards. Panini America.
So if you made this stuff when you're in college, halfway, it's because half the record is not half the record. So this is the stuff you were doing early, and it's like it's still. And look, and it popped, and it caught everybody's interest early, and then now it's just like you're being like it's like this ghost that follows you no matter what you guys do. You were followed by the ghost of your college songs.
That's true in some ways.
And there's something great about that, though. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. To make something that people like is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good ghost in some ways.
Yes, but it's still a ghost. Because I'll say this, and I've said this 100 times to anybody who'll listen, I say it, about Congratulations. This is maybe the best album of the 21st century.
I don't know if you have to go that far.
No, I'll say this. I talk about this album. We talk about them. You know Dan Behar, from Destroyer, right? Mm-hmm. I was talking to him, and we were talking. He's just like, I was talking about the John Cale show that I saw you guys at with him, which we can talk about in a little bit. But I said you guys were on the bill, and he said, he's like, that record, Congratulations. I was like, yeah, I know, right? And he's like, that's like one of the best records I've ever heard. And I was like, yeah. And then we kept talking about it. Then at the end, he said that he actually, we both came to this conclusion that if that record had been successful, the world might not be in the hole it's in right now. That literally, if the world had properly embraced that record like they were supposed to, things would have just gotten better after that, and we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Oh, man, I don't even know how to respond to that. But
that might be the most flattering compliment I've ever heard.
We just do what the aliens tell us to do.
You're just do what the aliens. Hey, Dudio, can you put the air on? It's very hot in here. It's usually just me. I usually don't have rock stars in here with me. I'm sweating like an animal.
Taking up all the air.
No, it's a very stifling room. So
that's seriously nice, though.
Yeah, right. But that's how I feel about. Look, that I'll stand by all 4 of the records from beginning to end catalog. I'll stand by all 4 of them. Each one is its own thing, and they all add up to a larger thing, and it's all great. But and I will also say the time will vindicate that record. You will look back, and it will be cold comfort. But there will be a day when people go, we got this one wrong. Well, they won't say we got this wrong. They'll say they got this wrong. Everybody will blame everybody else and say they got this one wrong. It's the best.
Vindication. Sweet, cold comfort. It'll be great.
It's coming. Somebody will write a 33 1/3 about it, right?
Well, the making of it was really special. And unfortunately, we didn't document it at all.
Because Sonic Boom was
Sonic Boom
co-producing
was
it.
living. Yeah, we were all living in this house in Malibu, and we set up to record in the living room. And there was like a gazebo, and like Anthony Ausking, the artist who did the.
I thought gazebos were extinct.
You're thinking of that band.
Okay.
The Anthony Ausgang did the cover. Mm-hmm. He was hanging out, and Jennifer Herma came up, and like a little guy. He wasn't little. A guy drove up from LA on a scooter with a backpack, and he would bring us weed, and it was fun.
Jennifer from Royal Trucks.
Yes.
Because she's on the record a little bit, right?
She sings on Flash Delirium, yeah.
Yeah. Because, so when you're going into making that record, congratulations. You have all the capital of this record that everybody loved, right? Now, how do you approach the second record? What's the mindset going into that?
I think we kind of deluded ourselves into thinking that we were just making a very straightforward, like we didn't think it was that much of a left turn.
Well, first
or
we went to Glen Falls, New York, which people don't
High
talk
Falls.
about. High Falls. Not Glen Falls. High Falls, New York, near New Paltz. And we holed up in a cabin in the winter, just me and Ben. And one time a bat got into the house. But then we were just kind of like, what are we doing here? We should be in California. And we went there.
It wasn't even us. It was like our A&R was like, I think she like came up and visited us and saw that we were sort of like, huddled in front of a fireplace or something and just like clearly shell shocked. And she was like, maybe this would be good for you to go to California.
Because you had just been on a roller coaster
Yeah,
that you didn't see coming, right?
that's true.
Because you're making this record.
I don't even like roller coasters.
You don't even like exactly. You're on one, and it's like, wait, I don't like roller coasters. That's happened to me before. I talked about it. I rode a Ferris wheel once, and I was just like, and I like remembered how horrifying I think Ferris wheels are, and I like it went up. And suddenly I felt just like that stomach drop. I was like, oh, I don't like the angle this is at. Like that. When it goes outside of the thing and it's like the Ferris wheel's behind you, right?
Aren't they building the world's largest Ferris wheel on Staten Island?
I don't know. I'll probably go on it because I'll forget that I hate Ferris wheels.
You'll see it from here.
And when the Ferris wheel came back down around, I rather than just go to the kid who's operating it and just go like, hey, you can let me off this thing. Like I took my phone out and I acted like I was like, yeah, yeah, I'm on the Ferris wheel. Hold on. Oh, you're here? Yeah, let me get on. Like say like I'm like Mr. Business Meeting or something. It's like, hey kid, I need to get off the Ferris wheel. Like I got to go meet my friend.
It's really important.
And then he like lets me off, and then
You've tears streaming down your face.
yes. And then last May, I was down in Ocean City, New Jersey. It had been so many years since I was on a Ferris wheel. And they have like a huge one there. And I just finished writing this thing and I felt so triumphant. And I'm just like, I'm getting on this Ferris wheel. I'm going to beat my fear of Ferris wheels. Watch this. Because I felt like I had written this thing and I could do anything now. So I get on that Ferris wheel and immediately I'm like, oh, this is not good. I still am scared on a Ferris wheel. And then I did the same exact thing to get off of it and acted like I had a phone call. And then also the kid was clearly taunting me. He let me go to the last possible minute before he would have had to have made me do a full revolution to let me off.
Can't you talk on the phone on a Ferris wheel though? Like what was the excuse?
I'm assuming I've got to meet someone.
He's a doctor.
You know those important boardwalk meetings that go on? You've heard Bruce Springsteen songs before. What? You're over at the funnel cake stand? Okay.
I guess they're late. I guess I'll just ride on the Ferris wheel while I wait for them.
Yeah.
I kind of had to do that at Disneyland when I was like, I bought a house in LA and I had to like close the deal on a house while I was at Disneyland and be like, skip out in between rides. Like I have to take this important call and then like go on Splash Mountain.
Yeah, and you're just like, what? What's the closing date? Hold on. Goofy's in my face.
Yeah, wait, hold on.
All right, hold on, Donald Duck.
I gotta have fun.
Hold on, I'm eating a turkey leg.
So you're on this roller coaster, a metaphorical roller coaster. You're the music you made in college is now worldwide popular, and you didn't see that coming, right? How much of it was a shock when the band blew up?
It's hard to say now because it's been such a long time. But I don't. It wasn't like we had no thought in our head that it could possibly reach people and be popular. We were making music that people, because the song were popular at our college, even like on the campus.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we were like completely denying that.
You won the battle of the bands.
Sure. We won the battle of the bands.
Well, was there an unreality that set in at some point where you're just like, no, this is inconceivable, though? It's one thing to have the music resonate with people. It's another thing to be just like, I didn't think we would be here all of a sudden. Like, this is just weird stuff.
I think I was in denial the whole time. Like, I thought that I was just having delusions that we were actually successful, and that somehow I was just wrong about that or something.
Like psychotic delusion?
Yeah.
Whoa. I think when we played the huge festivals, and we didn't like grind it out on the road for years.
Sure. So
we were like a karaoke band, and then we were like playing huge festivals, and like our biggest singing inspiration was like Royal Trucks. So we were like singing like, and like, like towards the end of 2008, we realized that wasn't appealing to a lot of people.
Like, this doesn't sound like the tape I heard.
Yeah.
I saw them a month or so ago. They were so great.
Oh man, they're so
The
good.
Market Hotel.
Yeah. It's the best. They're coming back.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Think of it. Think of this with Neil Haggerty. Think of this run. It goes from Pussy Galore to Royal Trucks to Howling Hex. It's like 30 plus years. This dude's got an unbeaten streak for 30 years. It's like, it's inconceivable. He's never made one mistake. Right? Those Royal Trucks albums are all perfect. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howling Hex. We saw them a lot.
Yeah. I remember he was playing through, was it like bass through, he was playing chords on a bass through like a Roland keyboard amp.
This is a really small amp.
And it was like overdriving this.
That was at the old knitting factory.
Yeah.
And then he kind of just squatted for a while on the stage.
Remember our Royal Trucks rip-off band? Or Accelerator, in particular, rip-off band.
Misogynistic Pineapple.
Misogynistic Pineapple.
What band is that?
That was,
It was one of our college
you in that
bands.
band? No.
No, I remember the show.
Yeah. I invited a girl I had a crush on. I said, I have this new band called Misogynistic Pineapple, and it was me, Andrew, Ben, and Jess.
And
Who was the singer?
Ingrid. Yeah.
And the girl I invited left after it was 16 seconds of music.
Well, we had that Sam and Dave cover.
Yeah.
It was pretty gross.
It was gross.
Wouldn't fly these days.
Sewer rock.
Okay. So you're moving from sewer. So it's a short leap chronologically from sewer rock to you guys playing festivals throughout Europe. And then you have all of that, though. And now you go, like, what's the mindset after you get out of the hole in the wall up in upstate New York or wherever that was to go make the second album?
Well, we rented a house in Venice Beach. And it was just like a complete different world. We were really happy. And I don't know, we walked around a lot. And we got really into just making what was like deep freeze mice. We were just like into making like the weirdest possible chord progressions. And I don't know. I got my ear pierced.
No, that's what happened.
Yeah.
You did?
No, that was before. That was before I went to Transylvania.
How do I not know that you got your ear pierced?
In Venice, that's why I thought of it.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you go to Venice,
Yeah.
get your ear pierced.
Yeah. It didn't heal all the way, though.
Okay. It's not good. Is it healed now? You're
I
okay
still
now?
have a little, like, hole
Let me
scar.
see.
Even though they don't show, scars are so...
I don't believe you.
Johnny Thunders.
So you're making the second album, right? And when is it just like whose idea is it to get Sonic Boom from Spaceman 3 on the production team?
That was kind of everybody just felt like that was the right thing to do, and he showed up.
Everybody.
He showed up
The
in
label.
a van. The first thing that happened is he pulled up in this van and got out, and a bottle of vodka fell out and broke on the driveway.
So it's like a parody of it's like a Cheech and Chong
Yeah.
moment where the van door slides open and the vodka shatters in the driveway.
What's
Yeah.
the Achtung glass story?
What's that?
I just remember.
Oh.
I remember that.
That was another time when he broke something and he didn't clean it up, but he just put a sign on the ground that said Octone.
Wasn't it written in Sharpie on the back of a plate?
Yeah. On a dinner plate.
He does work, yeah.
I'll taking care of it. I'll taking care of it.
So you're making this record, and when are you just like? Is anybody saying like, "Hey, this is different than the first one"?
Yeah, I mean, we invited, like, you know, our label, someone from the label would come and check in on us and kind of like, okay. And then one time Rick Rubin, who was the head of the something at the time, he came over and we played what we had done for him in the garage. He kind of was just like stroking his beard, not really reacting.
Fondling his necklace and sitting on a couch in the garage,
Yeah.
listening to it and silently.
But I mean, it was not in a finished state, so to play a bunch of this stuff for somebody was kind of like, what are you guys doing? But I don't know. And then, yeah, when we finished it at Dave Fridman's again. He's kind of like the glue. He's like the fifth member.
Sure, he kind of
Wait.
sick.
Seventh.
Yeah.
No, I'd say fifth.
Okay.
What are you trying to say?
Because look, I'm not going to harp on this thing too much, but it's like the record came out and then people did not seem to understand the record, the second record.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say it that way?
We did an interview with some like UK publication, and they asked like, "How's the new record?" And I said, "It's terrible," just sarcastically, and then they had used that as a headline. And I
That was good.
Yeah. And that's...
That's how you do it.
So, yeah, but then they're just like, hey, the guy said the record's terrible, but nobody was... But where's the disconnect on it? Just how could people not follow one to the other? Like, from where you're sitting, how did that disconnect happen?
I think judging from, like, the bands that I would see that people say we sounded like, and I'd be like, what? You know, and I think that from that perspective, then it would just seem like completely out of left field, like, what are they doing kind of thing.
Because were you listening to certain things going into that record that just was what you were pulling?
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like the Millennium and kind of like some sunshiny pop stuff, and obviously Surf's Up was a big influence.
Sure.
And then, like, yeah, this kind of weirdo English bands like Deep Freeze Mice and Monochrome Set, and I don't know what else. And we had a breakfast meeting with Lou Reed to because we wanted him to do spoken word over Lady Dada's Nightmare. And he pretty much said, like, it didn't need it. And then he talked about how we also didn't need managers, and our managers were there.
So you wanted Lou Reed to do spoken word over...
Yeah.
Sonic Boom really, he was kind of the instigator of that.
Maybe, yeah. Cause, yeah. But, that would at least we got to meet him. And then we saw him at the dog show.
We did.
What Westminster?
Yeah,
dog show?
Yeah.
one time.
You saw Lou Reed at the dog show?
Yeah.
We did, and it was, I think we found out it was like right after his dog had died.
I think it was just
What?
before.
I thought it was,
It's dark.
No.
the way I remember it was like somebody said like his dog had just died and he was like at the dog show like mourning, but maybe I made that up.
That was a fun day. We got
to like the Westminster Parent show. After. Parent has died. Sorry.
So he's
super dark.
I can't even acknowledge. So he's at the dog show,
Yeah.
and is he just like cheering on certain
No,
dogs?
we saw
or
him
something?
when we were entering.
Oh!
When we were entering, he was kind of sitting there.
Okay.
But we kind of like dressed up like dandies. Mm-hmm. We were like just being really silly. My friend had on a top hat, and I had like a velvet jacket and a scarf and gloves, and you know, I had a notepad. I was taking notes on the dogs. Remember, we went to get Korean barbecue, and the waitress spilled a whole tray of raw beef on David on his lap.
Oh yeah.
So as if you were a judge in exile?
Yeah, we were just having fun. We were in the nosebleeds.
Uh-huh. Lou Reed was not up in the nosebleeds.
No, I think he was probably courtside.
But you can still go. You can just hang out with the dogs, though.
Yeah, we went backstage.
Because you get to like watch them be like groomed and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and you can like
You could meet the dogs.
Yeah, you can meet the dogs. Everyone's really friendly, and I don't know.
Now, who has a dog here? Who? You have a dog.
I have a
right?
dog,
Just Ben.
What's your dog's name, Ben?
Freddie Mercury,
That's right. What kind of dog is Freddie Mercury?
terrier mix.
Okay. How big?
He's 10 pounds.
Okay. Small dog.
Small dog. We put him in a bag.
Okay.
Carry him around in a bag
All right.
in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should have brought my dog tonight.
You're such a cliche.
What kind of dog do you have?
It's a pit bull.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were looking for a pit bull, and then we ended up with.
It was a 10-pound. Yeah.
Both recording artists, Freddie Mercury and Pitbull.
That's true.
Yes. Well, that would be a great record. So this record comes out. And again, I'm not trying to harsh your mellow here. Because you're going to be vindicated in this story. This is the long game we're talking about. They're wrong. You're right. It hurt, right? When people are just like, man, we don't like this record.
I think it was almost comforting in a way. Like that feels like a normal reaction. Like we're like very self-deprecating people, so we're just like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah, of course you don't like it because we're not nuts about ourselves either.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And then, but what do you do to, like, when you have to go back to the drawing board and do it again? Is that in your mind now? Is it like, are there like little things hovering, like, to try to find the sweet spot the next time?
For this
For the
record?
third record.
The third
for the
record.
record, yeah.
We went in, we were gonna write really simple pop songs, and like, this is gonna be, we're just gonna strip it all down, and like, it's not going to be overproduced. It's not going to be like a studio record.
Uh-huh.
It's just going to be raw. And then we did the exact opposite of that.
Uh-huh. And was there a moment when you're just like, I don't think we made the thing we thought we were making?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We didn't have any like illusions that it was going to be a commercial smash or anything.
But is there just a point where you're like, I guess we're all in that this is what this record is?
Yeah. I mean, it was almost kind of like this is what the band is, and so, yeah, there was some points after our third record when I was kind of like, oh, we did some stuff, and like, maybe that's it, and then somehow we got together and started making.
As if it was just going to be three and out like that kind of thing?
Yeah,
like,
sort of, or
yeah.
like,
Well, what was the gap? Because there was about a 4-year gap there, right?
Yeah.
Between records?
Yeah. We took a year off.
Okay. And when was it clear you're going to do a record? Because you produced Simon's record, the two of you produced his record. So that's the first time you've produced together
Yeah.
someone else's record. And how did that come about? Simon's great record. Why don't you plug your record?
Thanks.
Simon just asked.
Baby
Do
man.
you take Venmo?
No, we're just here for the art of it, Simon. You know that. So, yeah. So, how did that come about to work on his record together?
Well, you were kind of like playing me demos and stuff you were writing.
Andrew had just so Ben had just moved to LA, and Andrew had just kind of completed his or was working to complete his studio in his new house, and so I'd just go over there and play him stuff I was working on. We'd work on it, and then Ben came to visit, and I kind of played him some stuff, sent him some stuff, and Ben said that he was interested in he wanted to, like, because Ben had produced the Karoma record
Yes.
that we had done previously, and Ben was really interested in kind of like working on the record and producing it, and I mentioned that Andrew and I had already been like working together on this, so it kind of just made sense for these guys to do it together. And yeah, so then you came to New York, and we recorded it really quickly, like in 2 weeks or something like that.
2 days, pretty much,
Oh,
right?
yeah, 2 days.
It was like we did it in a weekend.
I'm really young, so a day is like a week for you. You're a year and a half older than me, but yeah, and then you guys worked on your record.
Yeah.
And did that? So the two of you were working with Simon, and then you just kept going on the fourth record. Is that how that kind of flowed in from one to the other?
I don't remember what year
Yeah,
it was.
we hadn't really like. I feel like that doing Simon's record was part of the inspiration for like, oh yeah, like we can
The entire inspiration.
But like, oh, like you can do that. You can just make a record in a weekend. Like that's like a, it was very motivating.
And was that did that influence putting the new record together? Just like we can just boogie on this thing. We don't need to drag it out.
Maybe, but then it took a while for that to really sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we needed a lot of motivation. We're too hard on ourselves. I think once we brought Patrick in to help produce the record, I think he's very positive. Like he's very, be like, oh, you guys are doing great. Like that was a really cool idea. And if it was just the two of us, we'd be like, oh, that was stupid.
You'd be.
I think we owe a lot to the place nearby where we recorded in LA, where you go in and you select a 20-minute program.
Oh yeah.
And you lay on a water bed that bubbles and vibrates, and you listen to this kind of like hippie sounding doctor take you on a little meditation journey.
It's gone.
It
Jeff
closed,
Bridges?
yeah, close. It sounded like Jeff Bridges.
Did you ever listen to that Sleep record he did? Did you listen to that? Not the band Sleep, the Jeff Bridges Sleep.
Yeah, that was
Squarespace
like
record.
Jeff. That was when he signed to Squarespace
Yeah.
Records. Jeff Bridges did a Super Bowl commercial or something.
Yeah.
It's like, drag my album out.
Yeah. You want to sleep? I'll put you to sleep.
And so was you you're on water beds?
Yeah, and there's kind of like there's different meditations you can select, and they put like maybe like an essential oil on a towelette, and they put it on your forehead. It's really great.
Is there privacy to it? It's not just. It's not
So
like
it's
a
like they draw a
mattress
curtain
store.
around you.
kind of like an army hospital.
Okay, so just cots laying
Yeah.
everywhere. Like,
And they move, like there's this thing that like kind of undulates
Up
while you're
through
lying
the-
there.
A lot of people screaming with severed limbs getting wheeled through.
that's a part of it's like. That's why I think with virtual reality, I think the thing is like, as long as people feel stupid doing it, it's not going to work. As long as you're like putting the things on and then like people are watching you go like, "Whoa," like it's not going to succeed as long as people feel self-conscious about the experience, because they can never completely just let go. And it's like, you're also worried, like, this might be more my personal thing. You're worried somebody's going to punch you while you have the goggles on, or go behind you on all fours and let you fall over backwards.
It's all an elaborate prank.
Yeah,
just to get you.
Because then you're just walking around. You're so vulnerable with those things.
Yeah,
on.
it's totally vulnerable.
That's the. Can you see any? Because that's laying on some bed with a thing. I'd just be worried somebody would be staring at me.
They had a little curtain.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm with you, Tom.
You're with me.
I could never do anything like that.
Well, how about sensory deprivation tanks? Have you?
Oh yeah.
Who's been in a sensory deprivation?
I've looked at them for private purchase too, but they're quite expensive. They make inflatable ones that aren't as expensive, but the ones that look like giant space pods. The isopod.
You're not worried you're going to get locked in that thing?
Not
going to worry somebody puts a stick in the thing and you're just pushing.
Altered states.
Yeah. Let me out. I'm
still
in here.
Do you ever go to King Spa, the Korean spa up near, where is it? Hoboken,
That's the
I
one
guess?
where you can get into the pizza oven.
You can get into a room that's hot enough to fry an egg.
You put a burlap sack over your head and you get into an oven.
But they have this one room that's this infrared thing, and you put I think it's just your feet are under an infrared lamp, and there are all these giant crystals in the room, and it seems I'm not woo woo whatever, but there's something about this room that you go into it and you feel really strange. There's something that happens in there.
It's like a pizza oven with crystals?
No, that's a different room.
Okay.
My favorite room is the one that's just it's the ice room, and it feels like you're kind of in a garage in northern Minnesota or something.
No, see, I like the sound of that.
And where is that? Where is this?
It's near
the Lincoln Tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like to be hot. I feel more relaxed if I was rained on in a field. That's kind of, maybe it's an Irish
You should
thing.
move to Ireland.
Sure.
Move back to
you'd
go back to
rather
Ireland.
You've been waiting to say that to me for years.
On the hotline here, we have one of your. Is this James? Hi.
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
James.
What's going on? Is this the best show?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Is this the
First time
AMA?
caller, long time listener. Am I coming through okay, boys?
Yeah.
You sound great.
Sorry, boys. It's a little late tonight. I got yellish to the gills digging on a 79 shakedown, man. Yeah.
What are you
Couldn't
doing?
make it over there, man. What are you guys up to over there, man?
Just catching
What's
up.
going on, man? I'm out here looking like a sticky bandit who's just got electrocuted. Does that make any sense to you? Oh, man. Dude, this is so cool. First time caller.
Yeah.
Everybody there? You guys all there?
They're all here.
Wow. I saw you guys back in Red Rocks.
James.
So this is the AMA. The AMA has begun.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if I can. If that's okay with you guys.
Well, sure. Let's get it started. What's your favorite song to play? That was the question from the AMA.
Man, I mean, back in '82, it would have been I don't know, I mean, I always liked Black Throated Wind, but then, going into Shakedown into Fire probably. Or maybe, Scarlet into Fire would be better.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Mike out there is doing a dance right now. Right, Mike? You get this, right? That's Mike's language.
Is
Mike,
he a deadhead?
Mike is a huge deadhead.
Oh.
Mike, what's your favorite show? What's your favorite show? 11/11/73. What happened on that day?
Interesting choice.
They didn't play? That would be my favorite show. It was an off night.
Oh man, that's hard.
They were, yes. They all went to see the Sting that night. What's that, Mike? What?
Oh, Sting, I know that guy.
Come in here, Mike. I can't hear you through the door. For the love of Pete, just get in here.
There was no Donna on that show.
No Donna. Mike hates Donna and Keith.
No Mickey Hart either. Just one drummer.
Mike hates... Least favorite member of the Grateful Dead, Mike, is Donna?
Donna Jean.
The least, Brett Midland.
Brett Midland, okay.
Whoa!
Mike hates Brett Midland. He hates Donna Gottschalk and Keith Gottschalk.
What about Vince Welnick?
What about
he's a
Vince-
goat or what? True or false? He's a goat.
Unlistenable.
Mike says Vince Welnick is unlistenable. He hated him when he was in the Tubes. He hated him when he was in the Grateful Dead.
Oh, man.
Look,
They're tough.
it's rough out there. How about Pigpen? You a big Pigpen fan, James?
That's before my time.
Well, all of this is before your time. A show from '73? That's before your
How old
time.
How old do you guys think I am?
24?
Yeah, must be all the tanks, man. It's keeping me young. I don't know. Hey, how come you guys don't play Metanoia anymore?
That's for the real deep fans.
Yeah.
We played it in Detroit one time.
Oh, yeah, Detroit, right on.
No, you were there.
What?
Yeah.
So he played.
Oh, man, no, I remember that, man. I was higher than Giraffe Titties off that A1 Jerry sauce, man.
James, are you bummed that we sold out on this record?
You sound like our old tour manager.
Oh, man. What are you talking about? Trey?
Yeah, you sound like Trey.
Am I not Trey?
You sound like Trey.
I remember you passed me that sweet breath, man. Later on, the Deemsters. That's probably why I don't remember it.
Now, when you were on SNL and you were doing that bug-eyed thing, what was that all about?
I'm not familiar with this. What are you talking
Going
about?
for it. You were going for it, right?
I was thinking about that today, actually.
Scene stealing. That's some straight-up scene stealing.
Well, that's why, I mean, look around you. I don't know who you see, who's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't like me around there because I do bug-eye things too much. You'll steal a show.
Yeah,
basically. No, I don't know.
And then you wore a suit of armor.
People asked me about that.
Yesterday.
Yes. On Colbert, you were wearing, it looked like you were turning into an android. Like you were, like you were being transformed and then had to play the show.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about, man.
That's the new.
I looked at that today. It looked really weird. Like, I don't know. I think it's like I wanted it to be more futuristic and have more LED effects, but it didn't come out that way, so it ended up just kind of looking like it did.
Well, it was awesome.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh, look. Thanks.
Well, actually, you're the only one who said it. Thanks, man.
All right.
You're the only one who said that.
Well, hey, let me ask you guys some MGMT questions since I'm
Okay.
here. What are you guys talking about? What the heck is a Grew to anyway?
Grew to?
Yeah, what is a Grew to? Is that like Bluetooth?
I don't know. Ben, you can answer that.
It was like just a nonsense word that, like when you ever do that when you name something, you name a file on your computer and you just type like some nonsense syllables and it doesn't mean anything?
Right on. I always wanted to know that.
Thanks, James.
Let's see. Hey, you guys, how come you guys don't ever play, how come you guys don't play any of that old stuff anymore?
We do. We still
Wait,
play
you mean kids?
Yeah. Yeah,
Rain.
chief among them, yeah.
Is it raining, James?
Why? Does it sound bad? Does it sound weird? Hold on, I don't think am I on speaker? Hold on.
No, it sounds fine.
Okay,
hear
cool.
that?
Yeah, I hear that.
There's we're being... Did you hear the rain, Tom?
The rain? No, I don't hear the rain.
Here.
That's okay.
Have you ever heard the rain?
Next
Have you ever
question.
seen the rain?
What's the next question?
Okay, yeah, let's see. Next question. Let me see here. Let's see.
It's really getting loud.
How come you guys don't play Wolfman's Brother anymore?
Give me a break, man.
Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have too many questions left. Let's see. Oh, man. Simon, what's it like taking over for Cactus?
You know what?
Struggle.
But
Big shoes to fill.
at least I got a couple pleasers.
That's cool.
And then you go, and you're online at Whole Foods, and the person is just like, my bag is in the car. I don't want to have to pay for an extra bag. And then it's like, well, maybe you should have thought about that before you went into the store. You got to bring your bag in if you don't want to have to pay for a bag. When you go to you know you're going to check out, right? I'm here with MGMT, and we're talking about, well, it was a little diversion talking about shopping at Whole Foods, but the new album is called Little Dark Age, and it's very exciting, and people can't get
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I can't get enough.
You need a burp filter.
So when I saw you dudes play, I realized, I saw you dudes open for Paul McCartney
Oh,
at
wow.
Fenway,
I
right?
didn't know that.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's where it was.
Yes. It was kind of a quick,
Kind of uncomfortable.
was it?
Ish. Yeah. It's a large venue.
Yeah.
Opening up for Paul McCartney. Lots of seated people getting adjusted. And we shook his hand. Only vegan food backstage.
He had a really good handshake.
Really?
Remember? Yeah.
Must have been just yours.
Yours was not good.
No, it was one of those ones where I was like, he wanted to touch my hand for as short of a time as possible.
Oh wow.
Is that the worst handshake you've ever gotten by someone you respect? Worst handshakes. Let's talk, because I have a good one that no one believes what's the dead fish handshake? That's the worst of all the bad
I've gotten
handshakes,
a dead
right?
fish from a very prominent person, but I don't want to say it.
Well, I'll say mine.
Okay.
Was Michael Shannon gave me, like the toughest guy going. I was at a thing, and then someone was just like, "Hey, this is my friend Tom," and he's like, "Yeah, you do." And I always know because we did a thing, Rock Rotten Rule. Whenever somebody says it, but they say it wrong, it's like, "You did Rule Rock Rot thing," and then so I'm just like. Then he reached his hand out, and it was the deadest of. It was almost like royalty, kind of like.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
like
As dead as his eyes.
Kiss the glove kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of just like I'm just putting a corpse.
I shook Keith Richards' hand once, and it was like that. But that may just be the way his hand.
That might be where he started dying.
Yeah.
You want to know
Actually,
best,
from the fingers,
best celebrity
fingers in.
best celebrity handshake? Tony Bennett.
Tony Bennett.
Yeah,
Wow.
really good handshake.
And is it his
Big
firm,
hands, big hands, and it's just like solid handshake.
because he's trying to just show you he's just like, I'm still here and I'm not going anywhere.
But it was
I'm
friendly. It
strong.
was like an
It's the name of his last album too.
It was like a friendly, welcoming handshake. It wasn't like a I'm the boss kind of thing.
Okay, it was just like a hey, we're living
totally,
life,
totally
feeling good.
Yeah.
Will, handshakes.
Oh my god, it keeps surprising me.
Because the thing is, you play. Let's talk about you for a minute, Will. I know you're a drummer and you like hiding out in the background, right?
Yeah,
Behind
I love that.
your wall of equipment.
Well,
There's no
now on the
drums
side,
now.
but yeah.
There's no drums now.
Circles of
Yes.
metal.
Yes. Who have you played with? You play with so many, because you're in Karoma,
Right.
which is another band I
Yeah.
love.
Drums,
we've played a bunch
Karoma.
here.
I was playing guitar with Simon for a little bit.
It's true.
Played on the
Last
album.
two shows, played on record.
And I played during the last two shows as well.
Sure, I saw you with the giant dog at the
Yeah.
at the record store there.
An old rough trade.
Yeah, the Rough Trade store. I almost said Virgin. And I was like,
That would've been
wait,
great.
no, that was not, you were not in Times Square 11 years ago.
I was at the
this
CD
video.
booth just listening to the new Tool record.
Yeah, I played. I've been playing bass with Craig,
Mm-hmm.
Finn,
Yeah.
some tours.
Craig's a nice
Fun.
guy. He's a talented
That
guy.
He's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. Just
All right.
this here and there, this and that.
You've done some soundtrack stuff, right?
I did,
What did
like
you
a
do?
sci-fi movie called Jackrabbit.
Uh-huh.
Came out in 2015. It's still on. It's on Netflix. Check
Okay.
it out.
It's a
Yeah.
good movie.
It's all just synth,
All right.
analog synth sounds, soundtrack.
Okay.
I've been producing some bands. A couple bands from Argentina.
All right.
Will speak Spanish.
You do?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Okay. Look,
Anyway,
don't worry.
enough about me.
You're off the hot seat,
You
Will.
asked.
I did ask. Look, I asked.
I don't know what if I'm supposed to be trying to be funny.
No, you're not. You're just here to be yourself.
All right.
Don't worry, you're not trying to be funny.
Just be
You
your
have to funny.
non-funny self.
Yeah. So the thing with the new record, and when I saw you guys last summer at the Panorama Festival, is that what that was called?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
On Rikers Island, I believe.
That's what my dad said.
That was, and when I had left that show, I got lost. I was walking around that island for 2 hours trying to find my way back across the bridge. And it got so dark so quickly. Suddenly I'm just like,
You're surrounded by water.
yeah. And no one, anytime I would ask like any kind of official person, like, where should I go? I don't know. It's like, well, you don't know where.
This really happened?
This really happened.
Were there other people like you who like, it seems like that
There
must
were a
have-
few people,
Yeah.
a few stragglers that would see each other every once in a while. Like, did you figure out the way off of this island yet? It's like, no, you didn't. You're still here. It was nuts how it just shows like leaving this festival, which for people who don't know, New York City, there's this island. What is that island called? Randall's Island?
Randall, from the famous Randall.
And there is a prison on it.
Yes, there was like some
There
sort
still
of
is, I think. It just you notice behind the stage there
off
was
in
a
the distance.
large building with tiny
Is that an
windows.
active
It's
prison?
an active prison.
I might not have roamed as freely as I was. Yeah, so you were playing there in this festival, and I'm like, I'm going to get a jump on things and get out of here, beat the traffic, and not watch Frank Ocean. And then I think I was there well after everyone was done playing, walking around, because I kept going out into the darkness. And finally, some dude in a golf cart helped me out. He's like, all right, get in the golf
He wasn't even working at the festival.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't. He was just like a parks guy.
He's back in your cell.
Because he was like, go that way. And then he saw the look on my face. He's just like, do you want me to drive you to the... I was like, yes, please. Can you drive me to the stairs? Yeah. But when you were there,
Yes.
this does not impact that 15-minute version of me being lost. Does not have bearing on this. The stage show was... those screens were huge.
Those are the biggest. That was maybe the biggest stage I've ever seen. I tried to take a photo of it. It didn't translate. That's how big it was.
Bigger than photos.
And there was a lot of cell phones going on the screen.
Really?
Oh, you had cell phone, like a lot of, wasn't there there's a lot of cell phone,
That's
you had
probably,
images of cell
Yeah, I
phones.
bet. I don't remember. I usually don't.
We can't see the screen.
Usually have eyes
You can't
closed
see.
or
Uh-huh.
not looking at
Well, trust me.
behind me.
But then there's a lot of cell phones on the new album also.
Yeah, there's some nice kind of out of touch person talking about modern technology kind of thing, which we like that vibe.
To kind of break away from technology a little
No,
bit.
we like technology.
You
I
like
think
it?
it's just more like the sort of like adult perspective.
Yeah, yeah,
Get off my lawn, kind of.
yeah. Memory almost.
We're just
full.
like, what are these kids doing these days?
Uh-huh.
Memory almost full. Tummy almost full.
Hey, Mike, who's good here? 2. Because I see some sad person on Twitter has been on hold for a very long time. Hi.
Hey!
Your wait is over.
Haha, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Who's this?
This is Melissa Kramer. I'm a huge fan of MGMT, and I go hang out with the guys all the time at their DJ events. So.
Yeah.
How's it going?
What's up, guys? How are you?
Good. Are you still writing about baseball?
Yeah, man. I'm at a newspaper in Long Island. It's the biggest one on the island. I'm doing high school sports now.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I was actually going to ask you. It's a cliche question, but do you guys have any advice on writing at all? I know you guys write music, but I write stories. Is there anything that you would recommend to do while writing? If you're stuck, anything you can give me would be awesome.
Oh, I don't know. As a musician who gets interviewed and there's articles that come out, I think it's frustrating when journalists don't do any research and they just kind of copy what they read somewhere else. So it doesn't take much effort at all to really stand out, I think, these days. But if it's about high school sports, I don't know.
No, I got you. That's great advice. It's the same thing, really, for all journalists if you're writing about sports or music, and I always take the time to do 110% and do my research beforehand. So I'm completely with you, Andrew.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and let's see, I had a silly question for you. I blast a little Dark Age in my car all the time now, like a dad, but it's great. Just like all your other albums as well, they're fantastic, and I can't wait to see you in Brooklyn on March 25th, the Sunday show at Brooklyn Steel. But how much is working out too much? What would you constitute as working out too much?
It kind of depends on the person. For me, that's not very much at all. Work too much is very little.
Yeah, I agree, especially in the wintertime in this New York weather here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing. You have your dog now. At least your dog in L.A. can walk around outside, right?
Well, Ben's... No, your dog can walk, that's right.
What are you?
Wait, your dog...
What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just kidding.
You're just
gonna make something up
Your
about
dog's
my
more
dog.
like a deer. Like, would you say that a deer walks?
He's like prances.
Yeah, they prance.
He prances.
He drives like every other L.A. dog.
Come on, man.
The L.A. Dogs. Is that a band?
Yeah, that sounds like a really bad supergroup.
It's a Izzy Stradlin.
Yes, I was going to say Matt Sorum would be in L.A.
It's like it'd be like an English band that like is like really into the whole like Sunset Strip mythology, but like
Yeah, but a little too into it.
yeah,
LA Dogs.
Which you can't be.
LA Guns get together.
L.A. Guns. Dogs with guns.
L.A. Dogs with guns.
Is LA Guns good?
No.
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 Great.
No.
But they're important.
I don't have to listen to
No,
them.
you don't. You've gotten this far. You don't have to catch up on that.
A lot of that stuff isn't good. So you know that?
Yeah. That's why you make the music you do that sounds like it does.
Because I haven't listened to
Is
LA
because
Guns.
you didn't. Yes, they're not a part of your diet.
next record's gonna be the LA Guns record.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That would be. Who's your favorite
Andrew,
metal artist?
How's your cat doing, Andrew?
Oh,
I don't know. I can't really hear you, but how's Baggy doing?
She's just great. She's been running around a fair amount, chasing hair ties, and she's still going after those pigeons, you know? She's never going to get them, but every day, it's those
Dementias.
pigeons. Yeah. She's jumping at the window all day.
I like the question Tom almost asked. Though.
All right, I'm going to move because we got all the lines lit
Thanks,
up here.
Melissa.
Thank you for
No
your
problem.
call.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you next month.
All right.
Mate. So metal, right? Where does metal fit into the world of MGMT? Like growing up, were any of you metal?
Growing up?
Yeah.
No, but Simon educated us. Like when
Well, what do
we
you
all
mean?
lived,
Yeah.
we all lived in a house together our senior year of college, and we learned a lot about metal.
Simon
from
took me to a Cradle of Filth show at Toad's Place.
It was
and
one of
Okay.
those depressing moments of
Sure.
Cradle of Filth's life.
It was loud. No, you're thinking of Bad Brains. At
Oh, that
Coates
was
Place.
really Soul.
That was
Brains.
as depressing as it gets.
That was
Seeing
really tough.
Bad Brains recently.
It was
2004 or something.
yeah, 2004. It was a bad period.
HR.
Yeah.
He was like laying down with a carton of orange juice. Not singing at all.
We decided to get really high before. It was like, this is great. This is reggae and hardcore. It's gonna be awesome. And then the band comes out, everybody else comes out, and they just start playing Sailing On or something. And they play like, they like sit, but they play the whole song and no vocals. And then they go into like Attitude or something. They just play all the hits. Mm-hmm. And then HR finally comes out, and he just lays on the ground and he pours orange juice into his beard. And then the band threw their instruments down on the left. And I was kind of like uncomfortably stoned when I was like, if things don't go exactly as planned, this is going to be a terrible night. And they did not. It was really depressing. And the Cradle of Filth was also really depressing because they had this huge stage show and there was no one there. But yeah, I used to play a lot of metal in college.
Yeah.
For you guys. Say, it's education time, guys. Wake up. And at like 5 in the morning, just knocking their doors.
And what were you playing?
A lot of Manowar.
Manowar, Pantera.
I was like in
The live record.
my room listening to Joanna Newsom. Like, can you stop? Put it down.
It was kind of like, isn't this funny? Mm-hmm. But isn't this kind of good?
Yeah. So you were like a metal kid
No.
in some capacity?
Yeah, I was more of like into hardcore punk as a teenager.
Okay.
So I met these guys.
Sure. So that means you like Dio a lot.
No.
You didn't.
Did not like Dio.
Dio seems to always be this punk
that
metal. Like he seems to be like the hub for so many
I agree.
punks who like metal. Is like they always like Dio.
Not only
And those 2 Black Sabbath albums.
What's
Dio
that like
sang.
that cartoon, the butterfly
Eddie
thing? The thing.
Gorillas.
No, the thing that he did.
No,
that was
he
like
did the
theme
well,
song
you know
for
this.
Butterfly Ball.
Butterfly Ball.
The early
that's
kind of
really
like
cool.
psychedelic pre.
I think that's the first metal album.
Yeah.
No, actually, that was
Dio
read by
sang-
King Crimson.
Dio sang on the soundtrack for a animation, like a children's animation film in the early 70s.
It's like the early 70s.
And it's cool.
Unmistakably his voice is.
It's not metal.
Okay.
It's like
But you didn't
the
like
Turtles.
Dio. You didn't like Dio.
I did not like Dio. I never went that far. That's the thing. I would have gone that far, but I stopped at a certain point and expanded my horizons.
Okay.
But no, I was always kind of I always preferred, besides Manowar, I always liked English stuff.
Sure.
In general, I always
Okay.
do.
So Iron Maiden.
Yeah, but I can't. It doesn't make sense to me anymore. Although we listened to Manowar before we. Well, I made you listen to Manowar.
Yeah, you just put it on.
We
played it.
Well, that's
Everyone was listening to.
You listened to it in the same way, like you listen to someone honking at you in traffic.
I think metal makes more sense to me when somebody makes me listen to metal.
But
If I just am like, I'm going to listen to some metal. It's like when I like in this house too, I was living like my room was in kind of the sunroom off of the living room, so I had no choice but to like when it was 2 a.m. and it was time to listen to metal, then that's what I had to do.
It's true.
But we got you some blankets at some point because I know you didn't really have heating in there.
Yeah, he didn't have the worst room.
We didn't get
He didn't
some
have a
blankets.
door.
Your room is just a porch.
But
right?
Yeah, it was a push.
But the thing about Manowar though is, can you imagine if there was like a great if you know the West Coast, and that's a bad example, but just if King Crimson had a song that said, "If you're not into Prague, you are not my friend," and another song called "Brothers of Prague,"
Sure.
and "Prague Warriors,"
Yeah.
like you or. I mean, it just kind of, sometimes you just have to pride in your genre.
Drawing a line.
Yeah.
They're like promotional tools.
Yeah.
Just reminding everybody that, like,
By the way,
hey, you're listening to metal, and metal's great.
yeah, metal's
I'm just
great.
telling you.
And in fact, if you don't like metal, Scram.
Yeah. Scram.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Hit the
In
bricks.
fact, Manowar were Black Sabbath roadies. They were a roadie band.
Wow.
So I heard before Wikipedia was invented.
Yeah, somebody just put up here, they regret not seeing that Manowar Motorhead double bill in 88.
Really?
Your Manowar talk is making them. And there's a
Me
nice
too,
shot
dude.
of the guys in, like, they're very oiled up.
Yeah, I wish I was their oil boy.
Fair amount of oil.
Wish I was their oil boy.
Yeah, let's wear. Here's a good idea. Let's work out a lot. Let's oil ourselves up. Let's wear furry little underpants.
I rode in the elevator with Lemmy one time.
Oh, yeah. I was there.
You were there.
Yeah,
That
I
was.
couldn't believe that happened. I thought it was
I mean,
hallucinating. but
we'd
it
stayed up.
really
Well,
happened.
yeah, we had stayed up all night, so we probably were hallucinating. But I swear,
Was that in Glasgow?
in Glasgow,
I was there too.
he was there, and his
Not in
the
elevator.
mole thing on his face was so present.
Uh-huh.
It's great.
Did
I
you
didn't
say anything?
I
You
didn't
didn't say anything to him? Yeah.
I don't know what I would have said.
It's hard when you run into people in elevators and then you say stupid things. I don't want to talk. I had one that's will haunt me forever with Patti Smith in an elevator.
Oh no!
Yes. Where we were in San Francisco. I'm sure you know this story of these two.
I know the story.
Yeah. Because I was in San Francisco and it was me and John Worster and we're doing a thing for the San Francisco Sketch Fest and Patti Smith was playing the Fillmore right around. We're staying at that hotel near the Fillmore. It's like a Korean hotel, Japanese hotel.
Yeah.
Yes, right in there. Yeah. So we're staying there, and I keep seeing Patti Smith. Oh, there's Patti Smith. Second time I see her. Oh, there's Patti Smith. Third time I see her. Oh, Patti Smith is clearly staying here. Fourth time, she's getting in the elevator. I'm like, I gotta say something to Patti Smith, and I get in the elevator with her. And it's just like, hey, how are the shows going? She's like, good. I'm a little tired. But, yeah, going really well. And then based on a conversation I had with a cab driver in Memphis, because this guy was like, I saw all the bands back then. And he's like, the best band I ever saw of any rock band my whole life was Humble Pie. And they put on the best show ever. And I said to her, did you ever see Humble Pie back in the day? And then she went like, it was a little bit before my time, and clearly pressed the elevator button and got off, probably not on her actual floor, but just wanted to get out of the elevator away from me. Yeah, that was, and I don't know why I keep bringing this memory to life. Like I keep giving it new life now. Now it feels fresh again. Why would I do that?
Humble Pie.
Well, I didn't know about why you would bring up Humble Pie. Now this makes sense.
Yeah, because this cabbie was just like, I saw all the bands.
Yeah.
I saw Led Zeppelin. I saw everybody. And I'm telling you, Humble Pie were the best of the whole batch.
30 days in the hole.
Then I was just like, yeah. So I had to ask her, like, you saw, man. And the thing is, it wasn't before her time. She could have seen Humble Pie back in the day.
She chose
I'm
not
a little mad now. Now I'm realizing I was wronged on that. Who's good here, Mike? 4? 4's been on hold for a while. Hi, best show.
Hi.
Hi, to whom am I speaking?
What?
To whom am I speaking?
Annabelle from Brunswick, Ohio.
Annabelle from Ohio. What's going on tonight, Annabelle? You're here with me, and MGMT are here also.
Not much is going on. I'm sort of stressed out about this weekend, and I want to know everybody else's weekend plans.
You're stressed out about this weekend.
Yeah.
Why are you stressed out, Annabelle?
On Friday, I have a choir competition, so that's stressing me out. And then Saturday and Sunday, I have a convention.
Are you in a choir, or are you a choral director?
I'm in a choir.
Okay. And how big is the choir?
We have 68 girls.
Wow, that's a big.
68.
It's a big group.
Yeah, big group. Yeah.
And it's a competition?
Yeah.
How many other choral groups are in this competition?
A couple districts. I don't even know. A lot.
Okay. And are you guys going to go for it? You going to bring home the glory? Or is just showing up and competing enough?
Well, with this one, if we compete and then do well, we move on to states.
Yeah.
And then that's where we get
all right
flags.
And how about MGMT? Where are you at with them? Are you going to maybe what if you break out? What if you guys, you start doing, what would you do? Ode to Joy? And then suddenly you raise your hand, stop the group, and then you go into I Found a Whistle. 68 choral members singing loud and strong.
It could just win the whole thing.
Yeah. Or you'd be excommunicated from, you'd never find another group ever.
I'm pretty sure my choir director would kill me.
You're not the choir director?
I'm not. No, I'm a student.
Well, can you sing a little bit? Can we hear I don't look. I know you're not warmed up.
Oh my God.
Just give me something.
I'm not.
Well, okay. Well, what song are you saying? What's the piece you're working on?
We have 3 songs to sing. They're all like older songs. Nothing like, I don't know, like much music. Nothing like popular, I guess.
Public domain?
Yeah. Camptown Races? What are you doing? Let me just say
Rise
this.
My Love
Okay.
is one of them, I guess. I don't know who composed that, but that's
when you hear,
something.
let me just say one thing here, Annabelle's the thing. You know that the Happy Birthday song, that family made piles of money on that birthday song.
Uh-huh.
The Hill Sisters. Is that who it was? Like they got everybody did Happy Birthday had to pay the Hill Sisters royalties. And then they proved like a year or two ago that they didn't write that. They don't have provenance on the whatever. Like somebody did it before them. And now you can just do whatever you want with Happy Birthday. Like you don't have to pay for it. And that's why every TV show, you'd watch every TV show and it's like it's a birthday scene and then everybody's like, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which you've never heard at any birthday you've ever been at. No one has ever done for he's a jolly good fellow.
Did they take the money back from the...
But that's what I want to know. Where's all that money?
Yeah, because it could be the greatest move ever.
Yeah, they made millions.
Wait, doesn't Paul McCartney own Happy Birthday? I just walk into this conversation without knowing anything.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
I mean, I want that money if they don't have it anymore.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Paul McCartney's on line 4. Hello. Yes.
Hello there.
What's going on? Yeah.
Kisses from your bottom.
Kisses from the bottom.
The thing with Paul McCartney, he always does a thing where he scratches his nose. Does that make you uncomfortable? He's always like this. Right? Weird.
It means kill him.
Is that a signal? Is he just saying? Like it's
Kill
code?
Him. Yeah, kill him.
Well, Annabelle, I hope you win this thing.
Yeah, me too. And all 68 of your sisters.
You bring home the glory to Ohio.
Yeah, we'll try.
And then you go to states. And then I hope you match up against New Jersey and we wipe you off the map.
Wow, wow.
Sorry. Hey, state versus state.
Yeah.
I have no idea if there's even a choir thing in New Jersey, but now I'm feeling strange local pride toward our choir group that I don't know if exists.
I mean, I'm sure there probably is one.
Yes.
Some high school choir.
I'm sure. All right. Well, thank you for the call.
Yeah.
Mike, who's good here? 3? These people have been on hold a long. Look at this. I got to do that. Hi, best show.
Hello?
Hello, hi. Who's this?
Hello? Jake?
Jake, where are you calling from?
Andover, Massachusetts.
Okay. And what's going on tonight? You're here with MGMT.
Is MGMT on the line right now?
They're not. You're on the line. They're in the studio.
Oh, hi guys. It's really an honor to talk to you guys. When Metanoia came out, I was like 9. What was that?
No. I said likewise.
Likewise.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have a question for him? Metanoia.
Yeah,
okay.
I think Metanoia and Siberian Breaks and Alien Days and these songs are probably the best songs ever made. I mean, I really think they're just the most beautiful things. And I was just wondering, because I've watched like every interview and no one ever seems to ask you guys about the good stuff. You know, how did you guys write these songs and like what was going through your minds and influences and stuff like that?
Oh, which song in particular?
Siberian, but he wants to know about Siberian Breaks.
Siberian Breaks.
I would say actually Metanoia rather, because you guys are younger and it's just the best thing.
Yes, boss.
Metanoia, we wrote that kind of. What do we write first? We just did it section by section and then found ways to piece it together. I feel like that we're gonna
Hospitals and Woods Confirm and On is just so pretty. It's just really the best thing.
Thanks.
It was because our record label really wanted a B-side.
Yeah, I feel like the more we talk about it, the less enchanted you're going to be with it in some ways.
Like you don't want to show this. You don't want people looking at the seams.
I think what you told me is that you and Ben simultaneously had the exact same dream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that dream was, and you both painted this picture, and you kind of put it together and just...
But maybe there's some fun fact we could say about it that... Since
yeah, like I really write music, and I'm just always trying to strive for your guys' sound, and it's just think of stuff like as good as you guys have, especially melodically. Like seriously, like the jam section of that song is just so. In the Guggenheim show, will that ever be released? Any real recording of it? Because it's just I listen to those YouTube versions like every day, and it's just so good.
Wow. We have a recording of it, and
please release that.
Maybe one day. I don't know.
Make your case right now. Beg. I want to hear you beg for this.
Please.
You can do better. Come on.
That would just be the best.
Jeez. That's good.
Lower yourself.
It sounded weird in there.
To them.
The Guggenheim was not designed for acoustics.
Right. It was designed for...
Did you guys just write those and
Look,
never play them? How could you guys not want to release that? It's so good.
Right? How could you not want to release it? He makes a good point. Come on, really grovel now, though. Come on.
We just, sometimes we just do things and then we're like, we did that. I don't know if it was good or not. But, it's nice to hear you say this 8 years later.
I really just, seriously, hearing the song as a 9-year-old, it just, opened my mind to so many things. And if people don't tell you guys enough how good you are, I really think
you were 9
guys
years
are better
old.
than...
Is that what you said?
What was that?
You were 9 when you heard that?
I was 9 when I heard Metan.
Wow.
That's...
And seriously, I listen to that every single day. Like, the emotions I got from that song, it's just unlike anything. And then when Congratulations came out, I was so excited about how good that album is. I don't know. You guys really, A Good Sadness, Alien Days, everything you guys have made just completely blows my mind. Everyone that I know knows how obsessed I am with you guys. So it's just really great to talk to you guys, really.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you. I don't know what
I'll be at the show in Boston. You guys should play Metanoia or Siberian Breaks.
Okay, we'll put it into the... Well, we gotta rework it out, I guess. Just tell Simon. It's all...
I don't know how to play those.
Simon, you have to learn.
I know how to play Siberian Breaks. I don't know how to play Metanoia.
I'm gonna throw him in the hat.
Look,
right?
Yeah. We'll throw him in the hat. Yeah, we'll throw.
Just send me the tabs, bro.
When you go to the Boston show, make a sign and have it say I was 9 when I started. I'm the kid that was 9.
They say make a 9-year-old happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Well, it's actually interesting.
I was me happy.
Yeah, making. Yeah.
How about that? Would you do that at the show?
I would.
There's a 9-year-old boy who wants something from you. You know what it is.
No,
we'll get it.
And when it's time for an MGMT tattoo, what are you thinking?
I'm not a huge fan of tattoos, but if I were to get one, it would definitely just say Metanoia on it.
Okay.
But
Greek word.
Seriously, guys, it's such an honor to talk to you guys. I don't think anyone parallels your genius, and I'm sure you guys know how good you are and how criminally underrated you guys are.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, can't you hear?
There's no doubt in my mind. You guys know how good your stuff is and how original it is, and I'm sure you guys would just like to be humble. But really, I just wanted to say that I don't think people. I think people completely miss the point when it comes to your guys' songwriting, and I'm like pretty nervous right now. But seriously, everything you guys have done is just beautiful.
You did a great job. You did a great call, young man. Bye.
Bye, Jake. Thanks.
He's a nice guy. See, look at that. A 9-year-old. You changed the entire course of a human being's life. He was 9 when he heard the weirdest thing he could have heard as a 9-year-old. And it's like he doesn't want a tattoo, but he has a tattoo of that record on his neural pathways.
Weird.
Right? That's awesome.
It is awesome. That's what it's all about, kind of.
Because what are you supposed? The kid's supposed to be listening to? No offense. What do you want to listen to? Man-O-War records?
Are they going to say Simon too?
No, no, that would be actually mean.
What's he going to listen to? Simon too?
Yeah,
like some Neanderthal.
Yeah. Hi, you're on Best Show.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy.
Okay. Hey, who's this?
All right, that was terrible. So I have a bunch of questions, but I whittled it down to 2. First one I want to know is about something to do with Prince and like what that was all about. I feel like there's no press behind that. And the second question is about Alan Vega and like his death and the impact it had on the album.
Oh, okay. Then you can field these. I see you
saying. Answer them both Prince, at the same time.
I think something to do with Prince. It was a song title for like just a work in progress that never happened.
Which was kind of what the song was.
Oh, then it never actually happened, and then it became. I think because people really wanted there to be a jam on the record. They were like, "Oh, like you mentioned Prince in a working song title. Like this is big news," or So
I thought it was that we thought that there are some similar sounds on the song to Prince, and then we were like, it has something to do with Prince.
No, that was what the song title, but it was like, why would anybody care other than like, oh, you mentioned Prince.
Yeah.
I think. What was the other question?
Alan Vega.
What was another question? Alan Vega.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, so many musicians who influenced this died recently. I guess that's really sad. But yeah, I don't know, we did that cover for that was kind of like our therapy. I guess we did an Alan Vega cover when he died because we just needed to do something to express our emotions about that.
Yeah, that dude was that's somebody who will never get the credit he deserves. The guy, Suicide, will never get for what they did. That changed everything.
He was really self-aware too. I feel like there's like this myth about him that he was, just this like crazy guy. Mm-hmm. But I feel like he really he knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, no, I got to talk to him probably about 3 or 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and he was great. And he just I have a friend, this guy. He's a New Jersey guy. He's in the band Monster Magnet. Dave Windorf. He is Monster Magnet, and he grew up like a hardcore, like a punk kid. He was in a band called Shrapnel in the 70s, and he used to see Suicide all the time at CB's, and would talk about. He said it was like he said they had a thing that suddenly they would. You can't. He said you could not appreciate the sheer volume of what Suicide did live unless you were there. That it would be loud, and then suddenly, there'd be like a pedal they'd step on, and it would be like 10 times as loud, and it was so punishing. He said it was just so, there was like a brutalizing quality to it, that once everybody had accepted punk, there were still these 2 lunatics that were making people mad.
And Alan Vega was whipping a chain around.
Yeah,
too.
And he's like a weird Elvis going around. And you know about we do this thing, the Frankie Teardrop Challenge on the show, which we've been doing for a long time. What?
I cleared out a bar playing Frankie Teardrop on the Touch Tunes.
Yeah.
So if you ever want to clear out a bar,
Did your voice just drop 2 octaves?
Yeah. Hey, you sound like
What's that?
Simon now.
Wait, I'm so confused.
Oh, hey.
That was probably my nerves.
Okay.
Or you just...
Well, do I have a radio voice and a normal talking voice?
Thank you. I started off with the weird Wayne's World joke, and that didn't land too well, so it got me even more nervous.
You should consider country music as a...
Yeah.
Hey, we're working on the MGMT cover album on Reddit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, part 2.
Reddit presents.
Yeah, I heard some of the first one. There's some good stuff on there.
Thank you.
All right.
So yeah, it'll we're getting it together. It'll be ready in like 4 weeks.
All right.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, thanks for
Okay, I gotta move on. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Seems like a very nice guy, but
Yeah.
I could not take the depth of his voice.
It got deeper.
I thought he was gonna start telling me about cigarettes. Next. Besho, hi.
Hello.
To whom am I? I know who this is already.
It's Jello Girl.
Jello, okay. Do you know this guy? Do you know Jello Man? Do you know who that is? No. Everyone's shaking their head no.
I know through Rob
Okay.
Laxo.
We met at a Curveball show.
Yeah, this is Jello. He goes by the name Jello Man.
Jello Girl, Jello Man.
And he makes Jello shots. He's a Philadelphia guy. Okay. And he makes Jello shots and sells them at festivals. And his brother is Kurt Vile. And he goes around peddling Jello shots at, like, what's the last festival you were at?
Well, let me just explain the scenery right now. Right now, I'm going to a music festival called Okeechobee tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm sitting right now at Cocoa Beach next to, like, a weird karaoke bar in my Sprinter van.
Uh-huh.
Drinking Franzia alone next to a dumpster.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking cigarettes.
Yeah. So you're going
That's
to...
my night right now.
What
and
festival is it? Okeechobee?
Okeechobee, yes.
And who's going to be at that?
It's Arcade Fire, Bass Nectar, like Travis Scott, The Districts, Flaming Lips.
I don't need the whole lineup.
Well, it was 4
He's
or
selling
5.
tickets. So you're going to be there and you're selling Jello shots?
Yeah, I got 3,000 Jello shots under me right now. I'm sleeping on top of them. And
how much is a Jello shot, Paul?
3 shots for $5. 2 for tongue. Remember that deal?
Yeah, which is, I don't even want to talk about it. It's like he'll make out with you. Like he'll give you 2 Jello shots if you make out with him.
Very 2018.
Yeah.
What's the margin like on this?
Oh, it's astronomical.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jello shots give you the angle to, like, it says like you're trying to sell a shirt for $20, and they don't want to pay $20. You say, all right, I'll give you a Jello shot with it. They'll be like, 2 Jello shots. And you're like, oh, okay, you got me. But the reality is you have, like, way more than enough Jello shots.
What's this, Everclear or something? What do you put in there?
We call it midget top shelf, bottom shelf vodka.
So it's the cheapest. This guy's going through, it's like leaving Las Vegas. He's dumping the cheapest vodka into a shopping cart, right?
Let's just say I go to Delaware and get my tax-free shopping.
Yeah.
At least, or...
So you're loading up on the world's cheapest vodka. You're buying off-brand Jello, right?
To say the least, yeah.
And you're mixing this stuff up where now? In a vat?
I make it at my house. I make them in 5-gallon buckets.
Mm-hmm. So the 5-gallon buckets of Jello get made. Mm-hmm. Then he puts them into like little like condiment cups, like with the lid that goes.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Oh, there's some out. Can you bring
Mike cups? Come on.
Bring those Jello shots in here.
Jello Man, I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever sell a Jello shot to a sober person?
What, before they drank yet?
Yeah, like when they haven't had any drinks.
Yes.
You
always.
Do. Always, okay.
I always start, I mean, actually, I know it's happened before. I mean, it's people.
Here's the product.
I start, selling shots to people before they get into the festival, like when they're, lining up to come in.
Who wants a Jello? We have two of your Jello shots in the room now.
They've separated a little.
Yeah.
The shot from
Andrew's reconstituting your Jello shots by shaking them.
Andrew used to reconstitute Jello shots for a living.
Hey, I've been making these Jello shot murals, Tom. You know about them, right?
Yes, I do. He makes them. He spells things out in Jello shots, mounted on a giant board. Like when his brother Kurt Vile was playing with Courtney Barnett, he made this giant, spelled out KVCB in Jello shots, and then he brings it backstage.
Yeah, I follow you guys on Instagram, so you should look me up on Instagram. You can see all my Jello murals. I did one for Cage the Elephant recently. They let me come backstage. They played at the, where was it? Somewhere in Los Angeles. Oh, I forget the name of the place. I don't know why.
So you really
anyway,
get around.
What's your Instagram?
Jello Man Philly.
Okay.
Jello
you guys
Man
should let me bring you guys a Jello mural for your March show, March 20th at
Electric Factory.
Yes.
Great venue.
I will Jello you guys. I put Pop Rocks on them for people I like.
Yeah, he puts Pop Rocks in them, which...
What do you do for people you don't like?
We garnish them, kind of like a salt shaker. You kind of sprinkle the Pop Rocks on the Jello shot before you eat it.
It's really something to see. So if you want him, just know, Paul, given name, Paul, not Jello Man.
Jello Girl.
The offer has been thrown out. Well, he will bring a mural that will spell out MGMT at your show. Whether at this point, probably whether you want him to or not. Actually, this is happening.
That's like an offer I can't refuse.
It's easier than
you
spelling
can't tell
Cage
me
the Elephant.
You can't tell me about that, and then I don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Well, I did one without asking one time for LCD Sound System kind of recently. I kind of walked it backstage to Fillmore.
Yeah.
And then it didn't get to the band. Like the workers kind of like, what the hell is this? And they just stopped me.
Yeah. And I would call that them doing the right thing. Where
I think the band would have liked it, but the problem is that I didn't get to the band, you know?
But you can't just bring this a huge 6x10 plank with Jello shots stapled to it and be like, I got to get to, where's James Murphy? Where's James Murphy?
The only thing is that
I need to get him this Jello.
I walked back there because I remembered how when Kurt played there, the layout of it, and I just kind of like, I had a Fillmore pass that I kind of like put in my upper pocket, and it just said Fillmore. The bottom part was like the day before.
Uh-huh.
And then they let me go in there, but like no one was in there.
Mentos style. Right? You thought it's like a Mentos commercial, except with Jello shots.
I know the band would have liked it maybe.
You bringing giant wall of Jello.
Wait, Tom, you know the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I went to the
Eagles
parade.
won the Super Bowl. What?
No, I'm just going to tell you. Look,
so you made green Jello shots, right?
Obviously. And then I went to the parade.
Yeah.
And I stood on top of my van. You should look at my Instagram. I shot like probably like 2,000 Jello shots. And all these people going by, they all just like wanting the Jello shots, kept shooting people with them. No cops cared at all.
Yeah, no, because it was white dudes going nuts. Everybody spotted Philly.
No, everybody was going nuts.
Yeah, look, I'll say this. You know I love Philadelphia, right? You know that.
Well,
what? You know I love Philadelphia. I have a chance to go see a show in New York or Philly. I'll go to Philly.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that thing with with that everybody's like, oh, everybody makes fun of Philly, and we're like everybody thinks we're just like cartoon characters and thing. And then that one lunatic gets up on stage in the mummer outfit. Suddenly it's like, yeah, you're not making the greatest case for the elevation of Philadelphia right now, starting an FU chant.
And then that guy that ate the horse poop, too.
Yeah, that guy really did a great job, and the other guy who ran into the pole chasing after the train was in that. Yeah, what's that now?
Well, no. Do you like my Jello van or what?
And they had to grease the pole. They should just, next postseason they should just grease the people of Philly, right?
No.
Don't put grease on the poles. Everybody who's going to be in the town has to like roll around in some Crisco or something so they can't climb the poles. Do I like your Jello van? He drives around in a windowless van. This is one
it's a
thing.
Sprinter van, you guys. You guys know what Sprinter vans are, obviously. They're the nicest vans you can get, right?
They're good. Why doesn't yours have windows?
Well, I have a Sprinter van because,
he said to me, look, Paul, I'm going to tell a story. You said to me, I was in the parking lot of the Eagles game a few months ago, and then I was trying to give out Jello shots, and some girl was like, I was telling her to come in and get Jello shots, and she's like, oh, yeah, that looks a little creepy to me. And I'm switching the word, like it was, and then, and I'm like, yeah, it's a windowless van, and you're telling people to come on inside and drink and get Jello shots from a guy with a denim jacket on, not even wearing any Eagles merchandise in the parking lot of the Eagles game.
I'm sorry.
It's like one of the Manson family out there.
It's a
You're trying
van.
to tell people to get in your van. It's a parody of a bad situation. Get in my
says
van.
Jello Man on it,
Jello
and it
shot.
has beanbags in
says
it.
Jello Man on the van. You're right. She should have gotten in. You're right. She should have just.
And has a checkered floor.
Paul, I love you. You know I love you. I love the whole Vile family, all of you. But you got to just get some context here for what a windowless van looks like with a guy.
I do understand it, but I just try to just battle through that. I got to bring the Jello shots in the van. I got to sit in the van. Once you realize it's all good gravy, you come in and eat a Jello shot with Pop Rocks on it. You're on your way.
Right now, your brother is hearing this and he's pulling his hair out. Right?
Yeah.
Look, buddy.
He laughs at me.
I don't laugh at you, though. You know I love you, buddy.
KV does.
KV does. He laughs at it. But maybe it's because you bootlegged your own brother's merchandise. Might have something to do with the dynamic that you went and made bootleg sunglasses with your brother's band name on them and sold them. That might have something to do with kind of throwing the dynamic off a little bit.
Well,
all right, your phone. Goodbye. All right.
It is what it is, right?
All right, you take care, buddy.
Wait.
Yeah. And speaking of Kurt Vile, though, to go back, there was back a few months ago this thing in November where it was this John Cale 75th birthday show that you and Kurt Vile were both a part of, and that was I saw both nights on that. You were not in the second night, were you? Were you in the?
We weren't in his solo show night.
Okay, but you were in the night that was the covering the first.
Yeah.
Velvet Underground album.
Nico, yeah.
Yes. And you did two. What songs did you do again? You did
Black Angel, Death Song, and All Tomorrow's Parties.
That's right. Yeah, John Cale was like, that guy's doing all right for 75.
Yeah, he still got the fire.
Yeah, he's got his voice is still good.
Yeah.
The playing was still good. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah, at one point in the night that he did the solo show, he just took the amazing kind of piano, like intro or something, and he was like, "Wow, he can really play."
Yeah, and he was still on it. And the other thing is, like, people were yelling. He was like having some tech problems on stage, and then people are like, "Happy birthday, John!" And he's like trying to get this laptop to work. He doesn't want to hear anyone yell anything at him. And then some guy goes, "Not like the old days, huh, John?"
Yeah.
Like, that was maybe the best thing to yell out. And so now all you're watching is a 75-year-old trying to get a laptop to work.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't matter who he is. He did not grow up with laptops, and he's up there trying to. I can't get he's trying to just get it going. It's like, oh, this is a bummer watching an old dude trying to just like, why won't the pinwheel go off the screen? What was he like? Was he cool?
He was intense. I'd say cool, yeah. Like cool in the kind of like
how was he intense? Like
similar with when we met Lou Reed, kind of like just intense person to communicate with. And we were learning his songs and rehearsing, and he was kind of like, he was the director, so he was I remember one time he told me to try playing dissonant guitar chords, and I was like, I was playing random chords, and then he looked over, he's like, no, okay, no. And he like saw the other guy do it. Like, he gave me one chance.
Yeah. Strike one, you're out. Yeah. Yeah. Are there any other dudes like that or people like that you've like? Because it's always weird. Look, it's not the Patti Smith thing. That makes me gun shy to talk to anyone ever again that I respect after. But it's like, you think of it. So you shook Paul McCartney's hand. You met two of the prime architects of the Velvet Underground, right?
We did a kind of joint interview thing with Martin Rev last year.
Okay.
Which I was also uncomfortable during. But that was really great. You know, it's kind of just like listening to Martin Rev talk.
Yeah.
And then, who else? I don't know. Legends of the Fall. What is that movie?
Speaking of which, Avalanche Bob's song kind of sounds like The Fall, I thought.
I think it's got a little bit of The Fall in there.
Yeah, a little Fall.
Well,
we'll see. We'll see what Pitchfork says.
Look, yes, we'll see with best new music. Yeah. Avalanche Bob got it 8.8. What? Avalanche Bob got an 8.8. Oh no! Like, best show high. Final few calls, then we'll wrap it up here. I'm gonna play something from our friend Simon Doom. Right? He's good, right, Simon? His records are great.
Yes.
Right?
We've been
pretty
great.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I think he's great.
Hey, you're on the show.
Hi.
Hi. To whom am I speaking?
I'm Abby.
Abby, where are you calling from, Abby?
I'm calling from Atlanta.
What's going on in Atlanta? You're here on with MGMT.
Hi. I just wanted to call out Simon for when he made me cry when I was 14.
Oh my God.
I tweeted you guys a question that was a really dumb question for Hanging Brain, and you responded so meanly, and I just wanted to call you out and actually find out the answer to that question, which was, what was your first concert or your most memorable concert that you've ever been to?
What was his answer the first time?
I tweeted that question. He said, listen to the last episode, sheesh. And I listened to all of the last episodes, and y'all never answered it.
Oh, my God.
And I looked up to you so much, and I still do. I love you so much, and Simon Doom's awesome. But it made me cry. But
Simon is going to do he's going to fix it now.
I'll fix it right now. The first concert I ever went... Okay, first concert I ever went to...
Well, first, no, let me help you through this.
What do I...
I'm sorry.
Okay. First, so Abby?
Yes.
I'm really sorry.
Don't be sorry, I'm joking. It was just funny. I wanted to know the answer.
She's not joking, though.
She's not. I'm still sorry.
Thank you.
And...
I didn't mean to make you cry.
The answer is...
Say I didn't mean to make you cry.
I didn't mean to make you cry. Jimi Hendrix. No, I'm so sorry. I thought we had answered that on the previous episode. The problem with I'm making an excuse now, and I always do this, but maybe it was just that the episodes were kind of
episodes of what now? I don't want to talk about this to you, Tom. We did a brief podcast called Hangin' Brain. Okay. In 2014. Okay. In which we would ask for Twitter questions and answer them. Among other things. Sure.
And so the first anyway, to answer your question, the first concert I went to was Paul Simon's Graceland in Central Park, but that was not my choice. The first concert I chose to go to was Nirvana.
2011, right?
2011. First concert I chose to go to was Nirvana at Oakland Coliseum, New Year's Eve, 93-94, with my dad, with Chokebore, a comedy by Bobcat Goldthwait, and the Butthole Surfers. And that was That was my metanoia, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's what it was. I'm so sorry about that, Abby.
Don't be sorry. It was a long time ago.
But you still wanted this moment, though, right, Abby?
I did. I've always wanted to know, and the fact that it was his first choice was Nirvana is amazing, because MGMT and Nirvana are like tied as my two favorite bands. So that was awesome. Thank you.
Made two more great records than Nirvana.
Agreed. I listen to MGMT more than Nirvana, but they're both.
What Nirvana made one great record called Bleach. Then they made a Foreigner album called Nevermind. Then they made a fake indie album.
Oh, ouch.
Right?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Look, I saw it go down. I was there. There were better. I saw Tad and Nirvana at Maxwell's, and Tad was so much better than Nirvana. Tad was like 100 times better than Nirvana. I'm not kidding.
Not
at
just
Maxwell.
a tad better.
And he had a cold.
Tad had a cold?
Tad
Tad Worrell?
Tad had a cold, and he still delivered.
Did they play Stumbling Man?
I don't know what they played.
Andrew and I have Nirvana tattoos.
Look.
We do.
We do.
The best single.
It's not our fault.
The best thing they did was the single, the Grandma Take Me Home. That's maybe one of the 50 greatest singles ever. That single.
Sliver.
And what was the other song? Dive? And then they said, what if we sound like Boston on this next album? Right? It was a fun thing, right? That sounds a little bit like Boston. That's fair. Boston had good songs. Well, no. Remember that song, Boston?
Is that Boston?
I don't.
Yeah.
We're just a band.
The ubiquitous Boston.
You know, they're just a band out of Boston, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
does anything bad come out of Boston?
Oh, boy.
Ever. Abby.
Yes.
Thank you for calling. I'm really sorry.
Thank you so
and I
much
hope you
for
feel better
answering.
now.
I'll be in Atlanta on the 13th, and I'm so excited to see you guys.
Awesome. We'll come say hi.
And you should hold a
Thank
sign
you.
up at that show that says, Simon, I forgive you.
Yes, please.
I do forgive you.
I take this stuff really seriously.
But it needs to be in sign form.
Okay,
Yeah,
I will.
Please do. All right.
I just want there to just be signs at all your shows.
Yeah.
Just be like, these signs are really annoying. Like, what if you went to one of those festival shows in England and then some dope had a flag in front of you and you're like, I can't see. You're waving that flag around.
Yeah.
Like, we're all here in the field together.
The first guy with the flag, though, because it was always, there was the first guy who was like, I have an idea, mate, how my mates are going to find me at this gigantic festival. I'll be the guy with the flag.
With the flag, yeah.
And everyone's like, that bloke
Sure.
is smart,
That made
is
sense.
he? Yeah.
Sure. And then suddenly everyone had a flag.
Yeah.
All right, let's take 2 more calls and we'll wrap it up. No more calls, Mike. No more calls. Besho, hi.
Hi, this is Eric from Santa Rosa.
Welcome to the show. Do you have a question
how's
for
it going?
MGMT? You got a question for these guys?
I actually do. First of all, I wanted to say that I also saw them at that Fenway show back in the day, and it was a really nice treat because I didn't know they were going to be playing that. But I had a question specifically for Andrew. Recently, you were DJing like this show in New York, like it's done out of like a shipping container.
Hold on. Oh, the Lot Radio?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
This is like a really random question, but I want to know what that is. Like one of the very first songs you did in your set was like this woman singing about the joys of friendship or something like that.
Yes, Lee Garatoni.
What is it? One more time.
Lee Garatoni.
Oh, awesome. What was the name of the song? Do you know?
Friends.
Oh,
And it's
Friends.
called,
Oh, awesome.
the
I
album's
love
called
it.
Find Out What I'm Dreaming.
Okay. Awesome. That's all I had to say. Thank you, guys. Awesome new album. One of my favorites of the year so far.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. You're in the running. The album's in the running. One of the favorites of the year so far.
So far, one of.
Look, it's February. 10 months for him to just go, oh, that's right, they put an album out in December when he's putting his list together. What's the most anybody here has paid for a record while I take this next call?
You mean like
an LP?
Record collecting
like,
record?
Sure, yeah.
I think around like $50.
Yeah,
50?
like under 50.
What would it be?
Oh, yeah, it's just 50, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds like somebody. And look, it's okay.
I have a little bit of a problem.
That's all right. What's the well? There has to be some element of you being proud that you found the thing. If you had to pay,
I did because I found it on eBay,
and
I liked that it wasn't on Discogs.
Mm-hmm. And what was it?
It was like a kind of like a weird reggae song. It was a 12-inch, and it had vocoder, and I just kept going back and forth, and then I got it. But I was glad I got it.
Mm-hmm. And you broke the bank for it a little bit.
You were glad I got it.
Whoa!
Did it hurt a little bit? But
it hurt.
It hurt a little bit, yeah.
It hurt.
All right, I'm done with you. I don't like where that's started. Best show, hi.
Hi, Tom. It's Kat from Raleigh.
Hey, Kat. How are you?
Well, it's weird. Even though February is the shortest month, it's been a very long and very weird month for me. And I had at the beginning of the show, I got a call from someone else that made me super angry about something, just unfortunate. But I'm just trying to, hang in there.
That's all you can do sometimes is hang in there. Right?
Yeah. I mean, if I weren't at the end of the show, I would go into more detail about it. I don't want to wear out a welcome.
Don't worry. But I'm here. I got the band here.
Yeah.
The band here. Do you have a question for the band?
I do.
Oh, what do you got?
Well, I just wanted to say to you folks, I have some... I really like the material from the new album that I heard played earlier on the show. I admit that y'all kind of dropped off my radar for a bit because, I just, I was influenced by some people who were kind of snobbish against you, but then I kind of credit Tom with, destroying the last vestiges of snobbishness in my music taste, and because, Congratulations is a wonderful album, and I love, I think I ought to give, the first album, and, I've never even heard the third album, but I've got to give the first album another chance just because, I love the singles, but then I've, sort of need to revisit the rest of it. Actually, I have a lot of fond memories of your music from when I was in undergrad because, my good friend, girlfriend at the time, and once in a blue moon best show caller, Elena from Ithaca, was the one who turned me on to you.
And now you're on board.
Yes, I'm definitely going to, listen, as soon as I get off, I'm going to, look up Little Dark Age on Spotify and crank it.
Yeah, crank it up.
It's good. It's
meant to be. But the question I have is actually, I really, really love the song, off Congratulations, a song for Dan Tracy. I already knew and liked television personalities, so I felt kind of hey, I know what this song is getting about, and how it in itself was an homage to television personalities doing the song I Know Where Sid Barrett Lives. And,
some of the lyrics, yeah.
And I've wondered, Andrew, would anyone ever, try to pass the baton and do the same to you, or is your name just too long?
Yeah, maybe it has to be a med school thing. I think my name is more, suited towards, an entomologist or something, really, than a song title.
You're not obscure enough, either. I feel like you need to, reach, a level of obscurity as an artist.
Sid Barrett wasn't exactly obscure. Sure, his version of the band wasn't the one that got big, but his bandmates wound up forming one of the biggest bands ever.
But I think
maybe at the time, though.
Yeah, but then he was in he was when he was out of Pink Floyd, he was kind of skulking around his village.
Yeah,
and nobody. He was off.
I guess maybe now that you're back after a 5-year hiatus.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait.
Are you still there?
I don't know. Are you there? Yes. Kat? I think we lost her.
Now
I will look.
This is interesting, though. This is a good conversation. while it lasted.
Okay. Mike, what did I say about no more calls?
Can we do another one?
Yeah. All right, one. Here we go. You're on. Hi.
Hi.
To whom am I speaking? Who's this?
This is Nina from Syracuse, New York.
Nina from Syracuse.
Yes.
How are things in Syracuse? What are you eating? Did you have one of those garbage plates for dinner tonight?
Oh, no, not tonight. Not tonight.
Is that Syracuse?
Like, I don't know. Isn't that kind of everywhere?
No, the one you guys have up there, that is not everywhere. That is just up there.
I guess I don't know exactly the one you're talking about. I'm just thinking about garbage plates in general, but you guess you know more about Syracuse. Fun facts.
Where else are those from? Like Buffalo and
Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Just garbage plates in Connecticut for sure.
What's a Connecticut garbage plate?
Isn't it just kind of like everything in the fridge and in eggs?
I'm actually calling in for a friend from Connecticut who's in London right now and can't call in himself. He's got some questions.
All right, let's hear the question.
He wants to know what the fuck you guys are saying at the end of Deathstroke when it's fading out. He also wants to know why you don't cover more Bauhaus or play Joy Division, and he wants you to shout out Neon Deli, which I know is
last thing, that's not going to happen.
Why?
It's not going to happen?
Neon Deli. Did you work there?
No.
I used to get a lot of ice cream sandwiches there.
Where's Neon?
Yeah, I don't actually really know the
It's like
connection.
pretty much on the campus of Wesleyan, where we went to college.
No, just
Okay.
kidding. We can shout it out. We can shout out Neon Deli. I don't remember the name of any of the sandwiches.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because I think that would be a good shout out, but there were
It's
a lot
kind of
of
a good shout out.
Yeah, they had like sandwiches named after famous people.
There was one called Number One Stunner.
Oh,
that's right.
For some reason,
That's
that
right.
always sticks out.
Okay, why do we not play more Bauhaus or Joy Division? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can feel this one. It's because they have 4 albums of their own songs. And they can't get to all of those.
Yeah,
We're supposed to be, hey, here's another one. Here's another one from Bauhaus.
Wait,
Why
what's the
not?
question
Yeah.
about
Wait,
Deathstroke?
4 Bauhaus songs tonight.
The sky's gone out.
What was the question about Deathstroke?
What are you guys saying at the end of it when it's like fading out? Can't really hear what the words are.
Are we saying anything? I don't remember.
Some kind of like low, jumbled up
You're
voice.
you're just kind of like a surrogate question asker right now, though.
I am right now, and actually, he's getting it a couple minutes later than I am, so he can't even like live ask questions
You're
from
probably
Facebook
saying,
Messenger. But
I hope I do well enough
I can-
on these
I can,
tests
like,
to graduate.
I don't remember there being a fade out.
I can play it.
That's okay. All right, I got to take another call. Final calls here. I appreciate those questions.
Damn. All right, well, thank you.
Just I want to say here also, we've been doing a contest on the show, which is this Netflix contest to see who has had a DVD out the longest from Netflix.
Oh, I have some.
And how old?
2010.
Whoa.
I have one from
You mean by a
2010,
long shot.
and tonight someone has sent me a screenshot. You have to send a screenshot of your Netflix account of when they shipped it to you, and then a photo of the sleeve. And someone has the movie Bay of Angels from March 12th, 2008. So the anniversary, they are 2 weeks from the 10-year anniversary of this movie being in their house, which, how much does that cost when you think of just maintaining that DVD membership with Netflix over 10 years? So this person has held on to this one movie for 10 years.
What is it, like $8 a month?
It's something like, yeah, so it's
like $100 a year.
Yeah, so $1,000.
Do you know what the movie is?
What's that?
Do you know what the movie is?
Bay of Angels.
Bay of Angels, sorry.
Yes.
What was your movie, your longest?
I have one from 2010. I had had it's a La Bête Humaine, which I've yet to watch. I did have Trash Humpers for a long time, and it was finally it took me a long time to get Trash Humpers, and then a long time to send it back. I figured it was only fair game for me to hold the copy and deny people the privilege of watching Trash Humpers. Hi, you're the final call.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, who's this?
My name's Preston Dow from Houston, Texas.
What's going on, Preston? You're here with MGMT.
Dang. Hey, guys. Hold on. Let me turn it down on my computer because, I'm hearing signals at different times. First of all, I want to, kind of echo that guy who called earlier and said he heard, Metanoia when he was 9 and, changed his life. I heard everything kind of later than that, but a little older, but still super powerful impact you guys had on me. Wait, are you guys there?
Yeah. We're there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I actually met you guys this summer in San Marcos.
Yeah.
Kind of backstage.
Remember
and I was talking to I got to talk to most of you guys actually, and I was talking to Ben at one point, and I almost got myself into some trouble because I'd heard a leak of the album, well, not a leak. I'd heard it from a friend, a mutual friend, I guess.
That's okay. We're cool though. It's all good.
Yeah,
it's out,
that's
man.
Cool.
You're safe.
I was going to ask, since I can't really afford it, I guess myself. I was going to see if there's any possible way if
I can't wait.
Oh man, if since for not leaking the album, I could get tickets to a show.
No, I hung up on him for that. I hung up on him for not leaking the album.
That's kind of a reverse blackmail.
Yeah, that's I was a good guy. It's like saying hey, I didn't break into your car. It's there's things that are
Remember when I held your wife hostage and didn't kill her?
Not doing a bad thing is not the same as doing a good thing. Hey, I didn't leak that album, right? I could have ruined everything. How about some tickets? No. Go mow some lawns. You're down in Houston. I don't know. Go get a paper route. Mike, no more calls! Hey, let them ring through, Mike. All right. I want to say thank you for you guys coming down. It was a lot of fun. I hope you had fun, too.
I had a blast.
Having my friends from MGMT here